1,500 miles. Because the Queen Mary was just 8 feet too wide to fit through the Panama Canal. We had to go all the way down South America through Cape Horn back out to Southern California. A voyage that was so long, you guys. When we docked in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, people just flew over to California. Because they were so sick of the voyage, they didn't want to be here anymore. And tickets for that voyage were going for $10,000 for first class in the 1960s. And people were still like, I'm out. Rather fly. So we officially arrived in Long Beach on December 9th of 1967. So this past December 9th, we celebrated 58 years of the Queen Mary being here in Long Beach. She has been a longer part of Southern California history than she ever was out at sea. We served about 31 years at sea. We've been here for 58 years now. It's been 58 years. So officially, 58 people died here. Isn't that interesting? I like to tell people that we just ended a cycle and start a new one next year. Oh no. Now I know there was a lot of information, you guys. This will give you 9 years of history in 9 minutes. If you have any questions for me about the history of the ship. Any questions about the history of the ship? Yes?
What did Long Beach purchase the ship for?
That is a very good question. So back in the 1960s, the city of Long Beach, they were looking for something to bring the tourists into town. Because they're kind of located between San Diego and LA, and nobody would like stop here for anything. So they were looking for something to make, Long Beach interesting for tourists. And when you think of Long Beach today, you think of the Queen Mary, the haunted ship. So it kind of worked. I don't know if you guys know the city, but the oil islands that we have, outside, they actually used it to raise the funds to buy the ship. So it was in order to get the Queen Mary to, have a tourist attraction.
So it was already haunted by then?
We didn't know it was haunted by then. The idea was that we were going to open this as an event space in a hotel, like luxurious hotel space. We learned 10 years after that she was already here, but some creepy stuff was happening. We're like, what's happening here? Yes? So that's a difficult question because the entire ship is haunted. You can have an experience anywhere. I'm going to take you guys to some of the rooms that I think they have the most heavy energies, and some of the rooms that we had the most amount of depths in. But it's hard because you could have an experience anywhere. But I will take you guys at least to a room that's very popular for being the most haunted room on the ship. B340.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Usually when there's people staying in that room, I cannot take you guys in there, but apparently the room is available tonight, so I'll be able to take you guys there. Yes? Do you have a question? Ooh, we'll talk about it later. Once we get to the room. But that's a good question. Yes?
340 in morning, 444.
Yeah, so what the captain said in 1942 was that, during that whole year, it felt like every 4 hours a soldier was dying, but it was making like an average, right? We don't actually have a death count because all of those records got sealed, so I don't actually know the number, but just by estimating, every 4 hours you were losing a soul, that's a lot of people in the course of that full year, right? Okay. But it's like an estimate. It's not, he said it in an interview. Yeah, in the interview in 1942. So for the whole year of 1942. Yes?
How often do you experience conflict?
Yes, so I will say whenever we have larger groups, it's sometimes difficult to pick up an activity just because there's a lot of people. But I will say it happens on a weekly basis. That I'm giving a story, and then somebody tells me like, oh, I just heard a whisper, or I just felt something touch my shoulder, or I feel like a heavy sensation in my chest, and I need to sit down. So I will say it happens every week. It doesn't happen in every tour, but I mean, it's difficult, right? I can't tell the ghost like, please show yourselves, But I will say yes, I've been here for about 2 years now, and I've seen a lot of people have experiences in front of me. I'm not very good with like visual experiences, but I'm good with like energies. So sometimes I'll enter a room and I'll be like, oh, there's something different here. There's something happening in here. But hopefully, if you experience something tonight, please let me know, okay? Alrighty, I love that you guys have questions. Usually I tell people, if you guys have any questions, and everybody's like, but I love that you guys have questions. Any other questions for me before we continue on? No? Okay. If you do not have questions for me, my very first ghost story for you tonight is about our very first Commodore, Commodore Edgar T. Britton, who at the time of our maiden voyage, everybody in England was really excited about the ship. This was like the biggest new thing for England at the time. But because the Cunards had just merged with the White Star Line 20 years after the Titanic, people were still kind of scared that something like that could happen again. So everybody wanted to know if the Cunards were going to fight for the same title that the Titanic was competing in the maiden voyage, the Blue Ribbon, or the title of the fastest crossing the Atlantic Ocean. Because the Cunards were scared. What they told the press was that they were not concerned with the prices. All they wanted was a safe voyage to New York City. Very good answer, right? When the press turned to my Commodore Britain, he had something very different to say. He told the press what else did we look for. So he was really interested in speeding that maiden voyage to make sure that, he could claim that title for England. But unfortunately, about a day out of New York City, we were sailing through a very dense fog. So out of precaution, my captain had to slow down in case we made anything. So he was not able to claim that title. For the next 6 months after that, the SS Normandy, the French liner, and the RMS Queen Mary, the British liner, kept fighting each other to see who would keep the title from who, as the British and the French always do, until October 28th of 1936, when my Commodore suffered a stroke. 2 hours before departure, just one level below us, at the captain's quarters, and passed away. And 2 hours later, we already had a new captain. On schedules. It took us 2 hours to claim. And about a year after his passing, we were finally able to claim that title. The Blue Ribbon, the fastest crossing the Atlantic Ocean. We held that title for 14 years until the SS United States took over that title, which they still hold to this day, by the way. But unfortunately, my Commodore was not, here with us to be able to celebrate that victory when we got it. Until this day, after I have to lock the doors for the tours, nobody else is allowed to come in here. Some of the people who stay down in the hotel, they climb up here to this area to see if they can catch anything late at night. They'll look through the windows, and they'll say that they can see a guy in uniform standing over here at the wheel, staring straight ahead, as if he was sailing the ship. Now, by the way that people describe what the crew member is wearing, you guys look at my jacket right now, you see that I have 2 straps on my jacket, which means that I'm not a captain, I'm an officer. If at any point tonight you see somebody with 4 straps on their jacket, that means they're in the presence of a Commodore or captain. Even though I do have a captain today, we don't pay him to stand here overnight to scare people. That's our goal time, right? Now, with that being said, the way that people describe it is from a return, it looks like we do have the presence of a captain here late at night. I have also seen what seems to be shadow figures in both the chart room and the navigation room. And at least for the navigation room, that's the room that the captain would be sleeping on every time you were sailing through very difficult weather. It'd never be down by the captain's quarters downstairs. You'd be up here 24/7. Now, I'm going to give you guys some time to explore, take some photos, take videos. If you have those ghost hunting apps, you're more than welcome to use those as well. If you have any questions, please let me know. We're going to spend a couple of minutes in this room.
Get pictures of that.
Hey, you guys. If you're interested in the ghost apps,
Yeah.
we found one. She's using it right now. It's called Ghost Tube,
I'm leaving.
and it just said, "I'm leaving," as we're leaving the room.
I tried to find one when I went to Salem, Massachusetts, but I could never find a good one.
We found this one called Ghost Tube, like YouTube. It was called Ghost Tube. It's on. We have Android, so we're old school. But it did say it was for Apple. But just now, when he said, "Okay, let's all kind of go our way," it popped up with the word "I'm leaving." Oh, that was interesting. Yeah. Oh, of course.
Also from the Queen Mary, even from the 1930s, Queen Mary had like a telephone system in the 1930s, which is pretty impressive actually. Yeah, it is. We were one of the first ocean liners that could contact both Europe and North America in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. So yes, it is original from the 1930s, although these ones will communicate with other places on aboard the ship. Our primary mode of communication was the telegraphs over there, because you could send like a quick signal to the engineers down in the engine room. But if the message was really complicated and we did have the telephone system, it was just very loud down in the engine room. So they preferred to use the telegraphs instead.
One of those things there, the pipes.
Yes.
We're shouting into our.
So you see each side of the
Oh, look at the
right there,
telephone.
we
That's
had
crazy.
a crew member on each side every time you were docking to help us dock. So they
Wow.
were to communicate with the crew members.
And then they
Yes.
have the.
Yes.
So the two wheels, those work in tandem, I assume?
So
And then
you
the third wheel is an emergency for the rudders?
Yeah, so the idea is that they only needed one to work. And the reason why we have three is because if this one broke, we had another one. If that one broke, we had another one, right? They would only or primarily use the autopilot one right here, because you would essentially just put the coordinates
Oh, okay.
go towards, and then it would just do its thing. But if that didn't work, we had the backups. And we also have two more in the back of the ship. So a total of 5 steering wheels aboard the Queen Mary. But again, they wanted to make sure that you would never lose control of the ship.
Right.
Even if during the war there was an airstrike that would destroy this area, there's 2 wheels in the back of the ship, so you can drive from the back. Right? They took a lot of measurements to make sure that the Titanic wouldn't happen again. So this would have become another Titanic situation.
Right.
So we only needed really one to sail, but we had the backups.
And I assume those are called the 4 engines?
Yeah, so we have 2 different engine rooms, 4 propellers. Also for redundancy purposes, we have 2 for each engine room. But the idea is to communicate with the engineers, letting them know like, oh, we want a full head, half a head, full stop. So it's to send little signals. I can show you guys kind of how it works right here. The captain would basically send a message right here, and then as soon as the engineer got the message downstairs, this green arrow would match to whatever message the captain was sending. So they would know, like, okay, the captain wanted us to go, stern, slow, and then the green arrow would match, meaning the engineer got the memo, and they're doing that.
Cool.
So this little room here, is that for the captain?
Yeah, so that's an emergency room for the captain, the navigation room. He does have his private room in the captain's quarters. We're going to check that out next. But this is basically where the engineers would be working here, the chart room. Or not engineers, all the people that are working up here with the captain. And then that was just the emergency room for the captain.
Did they have women on the ship, or was it all men in every passage?
We did have women on the ship, yes, but it was mostly men, yes. I want to say some of the people that work with the cabins, the cabin staff, they were, those members we have, domestic staff, yes.
That's a compass. The one that's tilted sideways.
Yeah, in the center I have a compass right there, that's a compass.
Oh, that was a compass?
Yes.
And those were the screen tubes?
Yeah, the communication tubes, communication tubes. And then once we're ready, folks, we are going to exit through those doors on the left side of the room. No rush, just whenever you guys are ready so we can get to our next location.
Yeah, I got a picture of that. That's really cool. Cute crow's nest.
That was pretty fun with the app. It said, okay, let's go in here, and it said, I'm leaving.
Yeah, that was very interesting.
Or it can't get through because everybody was standing blocking the other door. That was.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's how to send instructions.
You guys find it? Oh, so we was asking them, there's an app that we just got, it's called Ghost Tube. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Alright, so we're going to start heading out for ship walk. Heading out now, we're ready to get for our next location.
You was doing the thing like, okay, you guys, we're gonna kind of split up, and you guys can check your thing. And her phone picked up.
I'm just going to lock the doors from the inside. I'll be right out, folks, okay?
I was trying to figure out how to tell you where we were, and I was like, oh my god.
That's okay.
I got lost.
Well,
Because I was kind of waiting, typing, and then I turned around and everybody was gone.
well, there was a younger couple
Yeah,
that asked
there
the
was-
same thing,
There was 2 people that we were waiting for as well.
and the lady that gave us our wristbands, she was like, God, that's pretty. she was
Really nice.
she's like, yeah, they're going up to the bridge. And she's like, what the hell is that? I said, it's the wheelhouse. She goes, what's the wheelhouse? I said, where they steer the ship. It was funny
Okay.
because I'm like, okay, well, this is gonna be 18 flights of stairs now.
Alrighty, ship walk. We're gonna continue walking down here this way. If you guys wanna please follow me.
I gotta stay towards the back, so I gotta find someone to get rid of this can that's driving me crazy.
Okay. Well, when we get downstairs, I'll watch for trash. Oh, pretty.
That is neat.
It's getting really warm in there.
I'll bet.
But this only records for so long.
Yeah, well-
It's locked. Why did it lock?
Maybe you used it. Oh, because you probably got too much stuff in there.
Yep, that's it. I can't record anymore. Sorry.
What?
It won't. It's locked. You have to buy into it.
No.
You can still listen. Hello.
It's looking for. Well, fucking buy it. It's cool to do stuff like that.
Yeah, but where else are we gonna go?
I don't know. We can maybe make it a new little thing of ours.
Wow, I hit a slippery spot.
Okay, because I didn't tap you that
So
hard.
these two people were trying to sneak in the tour. There's trash can. They were up there on that bridge,
Thank
and when
you.
you said we're gonna check wristbands, they turned around and left.
Immediately, yeah.
But the other people.
Oh, okay, because I knew there was a party of two. I think there was a one there.
How was it? And she's like, we're going. And I'm like, oh, great. But it was interesting. So